should be live. How's it going, John?
What's up, Jack?
Just checking to make sure that we are actually live. We've got the in-person episode. Looks like we are live. Confirmed. Yay.
We are in the same place at the same time.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine that a building can contain this much awesomeness.
Well, I think we're just going to look at some price charts today. Nice and boring. Unless you like money.
And then it's not really boring if you like money.
Well, is the bottom in, Jack? Was 60,000 the bottom?
I mean, not according to my squiggly little line that I drew.
Oh, what day is it? What day is it today? Friday? May 8th?
Yes, correct.
2026.
That's right.
Okay. No, I think your squiggly line is legit, bro. I think it's legit. So that's the monthly chart. Let's look at, and right now I have indication that it's just gonna keep going. But let's change it to the daily. It's gonna be difficult. We're gonna look at the daily, but then we want to go back to 2014 on the daily, which is not gonna be fun for you. But you got the mouse, so you can figure it out.
I think I may have just broken TradingView. We'll refresh. They heard what you were saying and they were like, "Oh no, fuck that." Oh, sorry, language. Okay, so we want to go to the daily.
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah.
Yeah, the daily, which is and then go to 2014, so we see the 2014 bear market.
Here we are.
Okay, and then zoom in on the 2014 bear market so we can make out the candles and the moving averages and all that. Yeah, so go to the start of the bear market. There you go. And then, okay, so the bear market started, and it actually took a while to get below the 200-day moving average, right? But once it got below it,
right about here.
Yeah, it finally got below it, and then keep moving on, see what happened next. And then it looked like, that's a bull market, right? Because what do we got there? We got a low. Point out the low. There's a low. Then there's a high. There's a higher low, and a higher high. Bull market now, right? Nope. There's a 200-day. That's the steamroller, right? So you picked up a few pennies if you bought that low in what is that, April of 2014. You could pick up a few pennies because it went from what, 342 or so, to what was the high of that red line high? No, the second high.
675.
Yeah, so you doubled your money in 1 month. You doubled your money. Like, you're probably feeling like a genius. I bought the bottom of the bear market because it'd been going down for a while. Where's the top? Go back to the top. Is that the top? December 2013? So it went for 4 months, from December, 4 or 5 months, right? And then it went down. What was the top at?
1162.
Okay, 1162. So it went down like, and you can use the measuring tool, but it went down like 75% approximately. So you might be feeling like, maybe the bear market's over now. Right? Because you sold the top because you're a genius. Went down 69%, 70%. You're like, and it bottomed out. The RSI bottomed out a few times, but you waited because you're a genius, and you bought the exact bottom. And you're like, I nailed it. It's bull market's on. You're telling all your friends, time to buy Bitcoin. Bitcoin's back. Like, it's going up. Like, you doubled your money already. Like, but the 200, that's the steamroller. It's not getting past the steamroller. The steamroller is flattening it out. Yeah, you can measure how much you made right there. If you're a total genius and able to buy the exact bottom.
98%, almost
right.
Doubled your money.
And notice the RSI topped out too on that day. Right? The RSI is above 75. It's overbought. And then, but that wasn't the end of the bear market.
Not by a long shot.
What about there? Is that the end of the bear market? That low right there? Nope, no. That wasn't the bottom either. In fact, what do we have after that low? In October, there's a low. What do we have? So October's a bottom. We have a low, a high, a higher low, and another higher high. Okay, that was the bottom. Now the bull market's on. Nope, didn't even get to the 200. And then when finally we had the bottom at looks like January 2015. That was finally the final bottom. Okay, so the daily chart gives you a lot of fake outs, right? Where you think you're getting somewhere on the daily chart, and you're not.
I would almost even argue that a low, a high, a higher low, and a higher high, you can't even interpret that as like a solid. You can call it an uptrend.
It's the start of an uptrend,
but you can't call it a bull market at all because
No.
it's just, especially if you're beneath the 200 day.
That's a good way to look at it, Jack.
Yeah.
That's perfect. And Charting Man Dan talks about that all the time. He's like, okay, your uptrend has started, but there's no follow through. Right? Because as soon as you got that 200 day, now you're getting smacked down again. There's no. If it was a bull market, it would keep going. Mm-hmm. And also, I would be looking at different time frames and whatnot. But we're just going to stick to the daily. We will look at different time frames. Right now, let's stick to the daily. So that was the entire 2014 bear market we just looked at, where there was at least, and we're not even talking about the first couple bottoms. There's a couple. Yeah, those are some severe bottoms. We're not even talking about those. Yeah, we were just talking about the other two, where one might think the bear market is over, but it's not. Now let's look at the 2018 bear market. It's still in the daily. So there's the bull market. We're not worried about that right now. Oh, there's the bear. Okay, so there's the top in probably December or so of 2017. Yep. At 19,000 or so. And then it had a flash crash right down to 5,000 already in February. And you think, oh, bear market's over. In fact, and it rebounded above the 200.
And then it back tested the 200.
Yeah.
Didn't even get back down to it, but it did put in a back test.
Yep.
And then it went back
Still
up and put in a higher high.
Yeah.
But I would argue that's kind of weak higher high.
Well, and it didn't quite clear the. I mean, it even cleared the 50, but not much past it. And it just poked its head above the 50. And then it made a little head and shoulders right there. You see a little head and shoulders? Mm-hmm. Like a downsloping head and shoulders. That's pretty bearish. and actually, that bottom in February, that was an inverse head and shoulders. You see that? Yep. That's the inverse head and shoulder. But then it didn't follow through. Mm-hmm. Like a head and like if that was going to follow through in a bear market. Sorry, I'm sitting here like yelling in Jack's ear and pointing at the screen. You guys can't see or hear any of that. So I'll talk in the microphone. So where Jack is pointing right there is where, if it was a bull market, that would have gone up. And it would have gone up probably about as much as that head was down. Yeah, that's usually standard for...
From the neckline.
Yeah, for inverse head and shoulders. But instead of going up, it went down and formed a regular head and shoulders, which is a bearish. It went straight from a failed bullish pattern, which is extremely bearish, into an actual bearish pattern, which is bearish, and it was just bear market. And then it went below the 200 after fighting it a little bit on that right shoulder of the head and shoulders. And then the 200 was now resistance.
It fell below.
Yeah, it finally fell below.
It tried to come back
tried to
up
hold
and
it.
got rejected.
Tried to hold the support. Finally lost it.
Now it's resistance.
And then it came up, and then it looks like was it March? Yeah, there's resistance on the 200, and then it kept going, and then it made a run. Now look at this run from what is that? April? The April run. We got higher highs and higher lows on the daily chart, looking good. Reclaim the 12, reclaim the 26, reclaim the 50, got all the way to the 200, but didn't follow through. And look at the RSI. RSI topped out again, right? To overbought territory on the RSI. And we're not paying for TradingView, we're buying Bitcoin. So, and then that's real good. And keep sliding it down. Is the bear market over? Nope, still going into June. Oh, is it over now? We got a bottom in July? Nope, again, higher highs and higher lows. Back up to the 200. Steamrolled again. Down into August. September didn't even make it. Didn't even make it to the 200. Still going down. 200's going down. Bitcoin's going down.
Walking sideways.
Oh, look at that big green candle. That big volume spike. Was that October? Maybe the bull market's over. Or bear market's over. And this is the start. Someone bought Michael Saylor. It wasn't Michael Saylor back then, but somebody, was it Kobe? Kobe bought a bunch of Bitcoin. Nope. Still a bear market. Still sideways. Not even getting above the 50 there.
When that wick is just like everybody's selling.
Oh, everyone's selling that, and then bam, then it went down hard.
Fell off a cliff.
Yeah, was that the COVID crash? No, that's 2018. This is before COVID. This is just 2018 regular bear market stuff happening, and then it finally found a bottom. Finally. And look at the RSI bottomed out, and it still wasn't the bottom. It had bullish divergence. That's when it was finally the bottom, when it had the higher low on the RSI, even though it had the lower low on the price. And that was finally the bottom. Again, 12 months from the top. I forgot to mention that, 2014. It was a 12-month bear market. The 2018 bear market, 12 months. Almost to the day. Both of these. It was, I think, January to January, December, something like that. Like, it is 12 months. Now let's look at the 2022 bear market. A little more recent. Jack and I lived through the 2022 bear market. If you didn't, don't worry. You're living through a bear market right now. Don't worry. And look, same thing. We got the head and shoulders, and then it followed through a little bit, and then we got higher highs and higher lows, but then we hit the 200, and we didn't even see the 200 for the whole rest of the bear market.
Yeah, just later. See ya.
And actually, we held the 200 for a while. That first wick in December, I think that was the FTX collapse.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I'm pretty sure that was the FTX collapse.
And the people bought the dip on
that. Oh yeah, people bought and a lot of people panic sold, which is why it was such a downforce. But that was, and people thought, oh, okay, there's the bear market, it's over. Nope, you got 12 months to go, bro. Like the top was in November, the bottom of 2021. That means the bottom should be in November 2022. And the whole time I'm arguing with Pete. It's a 4-year cycle, Pete, and Pete's like, no, it's not. Guess what, Pete? It's a 4-year cycle. In November 2022, there's the fucking bottom. And it never even touched the 200 again until right there. And then even Pete was like, bull market's on. When it crossed the 200 right there, like that was like, okay, it's on. And it was a good 12 months. 12 months. In fact, that was in the 13th month when it finally crossed the 200. Moving averages. The
bottom was in after 12.
Moving averages are lagging indicators. Right, but it's a confirmation that you know for sure that the bull market's on again. Okay, so now look at the current bear market. So we finally went below it. So that top was in October. So Benjamin Cohen, and I agree, and Rekt Capital. That's a real good one. REKT Capital has a YouTube channel. Makes a video like once every 3 months, if that. And there's solid gold. Jack, that was the one I sent you.
It was great.
Like, I love that guy's tea. He's so good.
Yeah, it's what it is that Rekt Capital does something that we need to get better at, which is visualizing our charts so that people can understand what we're trying to tell them. You know, me waving the mouse around is only so helpful.
Yeah.
Like building the boxes and the triangles and all that.
He really does more prep work than we do.
Yeah, for sure.
We're rookies.
That's what's so nice about it, though. Like, we could just swipe his charts.
He's also a professional. Like, he literally gives advice for money.
Okay.
Like, you can call him or email him and give him hundreds of dollars, and he'll read the Bitcoin chart for you and tell you what to do. I don't know if that's legal, but I think he's not even in the United States, so who cares?
He doesn't.
No, he's given advice, and if there's someone, I mean, if you want the best Bitcoin TA, turn this episode off. Go watch Rekt Capital, and then when you're done with that, you can come back over here if you like us. Anyway, but look at what we just got to finally. Like, is that 60K the bottom? It was only 4 or 5 months after the top. The top was in October. The bottom was in February. About 4 months, whatever. And then we got higher highs and higher lows. We even got some of the higher lows marked out already, and there was even a few more. And there's higher highs. Larson line, CTO Larson, who I like, said a Larson line turned gold on the daily chart. Well, of course it did. Look how many, I hope it did. Look how many higher highs and higher lows we have. We got the 12, the 26, and the 50. We cleared all of those, and they're all spread open. We're in an uptrend. Like, we've been in an uptrend. And look at the RSI in February. It bottomed out in February, way oversold, and high volume, even on Bitstamp, which is not very much used. Although I think Robinhood bought out Bitstamp, I'm not sure. But we're hitting that 200, just like Benjamin Cohen always talks about. Bitcoin likes to check in on the 200 daily moving average in a bear market. It's just what Bitcoin does, and it's doing it again. And history's rhyming, history's repeating. This time is not different. Michael Saylor's out of money. He's already talking about selling Bitcoin. Michael Saylor's going to sell the bottom, just like he didn't sell the bottom last time. He didn't buy the bottom last time much.
I don't think he needs to sell this bottom, or I don't think he needs to.
He's got to pay dividends.
Yeah, but he's able to do that
He has cash.
Yeah.
He has a couple $1 billion of cash.
Yeah, that he
literally
just for that.
Literally has $2 billion of USD cash right now.
Yeah.
He's just trying to like he's like Trump. He'll say some crazy shit. Oh, I'm gonna take over Greenland. He's not taking over Greenland, but he's opening the conversation to, hey, we got to get the rare earth metals out of Greenland, and we could take it over, but instead we'll just lease it, right? Whatever. Like Michael Saylor's like, oh, I'm gonna sell the Bitcoin. No, he's not selling the Bitcoin. I'm being loud. It's a nice microphone. I'm getting excited, bouncing off the walls, but we're gonna do it NPR style. So Michael Saylor's not selling his Bitcoin because he has cash.
That's very interesting, John.
$2 billion of cash. Plenty to pay the dividends. I don't know how much his dividends are. I don't care. I'm buying regular Bitcoin.
11% right about now.
Yeah, that's the yield. But look at Bitcoin hit the 200 and it didn't get all that overheated, and it might go up some more. It might check with the 200 yet again. We might have another high, but what's the 200 at? It's at 82,000. And what was that top wick right there?
82, 85.
82.8.
And then this is, yeah, I mean, it's
80
now below.
Right now it's at 82.8.
It's just
Yeah,
right
it's
now.
at 82.8. The 200's at 82.8. Bitcoin just hit 82.8. We just checked in with the 200. Now it could go over if you look at. We just looked at the chart, so we forgot to note. But sometimes it went over the 200.
Mm-hmm.
That can happen. It did not happen much in 2022, but I think it happened in 2018 and 2014. And it doesn't matter too much if it goes above or not. 2022 it did not. But we can check. 20.
Did.
Yeah, it did during the 2019 like half bull mid cycle. But the bear market was already over at that point.
Yeah, that's true.
Because the bottom was that green arrow. The bottom was already in. That one it flirted with it a lot. What time of year was that? Love Bitcoin this time of year. It was May. It was summertime. So that might happen, right? It's definitely possible that we could do something like that where we go slightly above the 200, but it didn't go above. It didn't follow through, as Charterman Dan would say. It did not follow through.
It claimed the 200 and then was sharply rejected. It rode some ranges on the others. It got above the 200 again. It rode that
Tried
for
to
a
gain
little
acceptance.
while, and then it fell off the table because this was essentially a triangle.
It did not follow through, Jack. So I think that's what's going to happen again. I think it might go above it like it did in 2014. I wouldn't worry about it before that. It's just up only before that. Which is when I heard about Bitcoin before the chart even starts, dude. I'm so forever going to be upset that I didn't buy Bitcoin. But anyway, I'm buying it now. Actually, I'm not. I sold it because I think as soon as we got to the 200, I sold what I had. Around those green arrows I was buying, I mean, not at 60, I'm not that good, but I was buying some at 63, 64, 68. I was buying, and I was picking up pennies in front of Steamroller. We had an episode where I talked about that. And I was like, I'm not going to do it. I did it. I can't help myself. I picked up pennies in front of the Steamroller, and all the pennies went to fees anyway. So I'm trading it on chain. The fees are insane. Like, I would have been much better off just leaving it alone. Like, I made no profit. It all went to fees.
Yeah, if you're moving it on chain, it's too tough.
Too expensive.
You have to have at least a swing mentality with a Bitcoin trade.
It's so expensive.
If you're
I'm losing
on chain.
like 1% every time I'm trading.
If you're fucking around on an exchange, you can do that. Jesus, now I'm the one swearing.
A lot of the exchanges are expensive, dude.
I mean,
even Robinhood, Coinbase is 1%.
I don't know. Coinbase is terrible.
Robinhood is 0.85%, which is a little bit better. Morgan Stanley just came up with 0.5%. You're best off, honestly, if you want to day trade, IBIT.
Kraken.
Kraken's good. Kraken's good.
Kraken's what I use.
Kraken's
got really good trading on their Pro
Yes.
app.
No, I love trading on Kraken for sure. Kraken's got much lower fees. They're closer to like, I don't know, 10 bips or 15 bips, 0.1 or
They're pretty affordable.
around there. Very low trading fees, and it's on chain. Well, it's not. You can send it on chain from there. It's you're trading on their centralized
you can
exchange.
move it to your wallet.
And it's you're right. Kraken. If you're trading crypto, I would go Kraken. And then there's Hyperliquid, but I wouldn't. That's not safe in my opinion.
Oh really?
Not in my opinion.
Hyperliquid.
Correct.
Oh.
And I think October 10th would agree with me. October 10th of 2025. when people got liquidated in both directions.
Oh well, that's a difference. Okay, so sure, margin trading.
Right, but
is
even
not a
people
great
who
idea.
even people who had shorts who were
That's margin trading. You buy those on margin.
right, and they didn't make any money. No, they should have. They just got closed out.
Yeah.
They got closed
Yeah.
out. They didn't lose money, but they didn't make money what they're supposed to.
Sure. I thought you were insinuating like a cyber attack risk.
Oh, which
is
has got
totally,
a huge cyber attack risk.
Yeah, I mean it's a honey.
It started out with 4 validators. Now it's got 20, maybe 12 or 20 or something. Like it's a little better.
I didn't. Yeah, I guess I did. I keep forgetting that Hyperliquid's actually a chain, like its own chain.
Its own chain. It's. I think it's Tendermint from like a Cosmos fork, and I think it's and the only way to get to it officially is through Arbitrum. Has a bridge to it, but I think that like you can get to it through Phantom Wallet. You can get to it through MetaMask now too. But Kraken I think is safer than. I mean, Kraken has one node, their own. But they're a bank.
Kraken has now gotten its money transmitter license. Did you know that?
Yeah.
You can do instant ACH.
Kraken is super legit. I really love Kraken Kraken is literally my favorite exchange.
And we're not even paid by Kraken. Come on, open up the purse strings, you cheap.
But another way to trade crypto is through ETFs on the stock market.
And then you're still paying fees.
Well, Robinhood doesn't have fees.
Okay, cool.
Right? Like that's why one of the reasons I use Robinhood. And you can, and that's what Charting Man Dan does. If he's going to trade crypto, he just trades it on, because he uses Coinbase, which has high fees, so he doesn't use it at all. He trades IBIT on
in his IRA.
I think he's got Fidelity or something, because the stocks don't have trading fees, because they can sell your order flow to the big dogs. That's how they make their money. That's how they're able to charge you 0 fees, because they sell your information, which I'm fine with. You can buy my information. I give it away on YouTube for free, because I'm just an Uber driver. Anyway, for now.
So, anyways, yes, we've checked in with the 200.
We checked in 200, and I think
we've been rejected, or sufficiently, I think, rejected.
And we've been rejected. Although we're being supported by the 12. I mean, it's still an uptrend. Larson line's yellow, right? Like, if you watch CTO Larson, he's pretty bullish on his last episode. But and you know what? We might go above the 200. We might even stay above the 200. But I think the bear market will be 12 months. There's no reason why this bear market would be less than 12 months. I mean, you can come up with reasons. Oh, Michael Saylor. Oh, Morgan Stanley. And there's a lot of, Morgan Stanley just opened up a Bitcoin ETF. Morgan Stanley just allowed Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana trading for only 0.5% fees. Who else just started trading? Charles Schwab just started offering Bitcoin and Ethereum. So there's a lot of money coming into Bitcoin, but also this is just how it works. Why does it work this way? It doesn't matter. It's just how it works. It's cycles. Until the 4-year cycle is broken, you got to respect it. And so far, the 4-year cycle is not broken. It went up for 3 years, from November of 2022 to October of 2025. That was 3 years. And it always goes up for 3 years. And it's going to go down for 12 months, just like it always goes down for 12 months. And it's probably going to go up for 3 years after that. Eventually, will it break? Sure. Could it break right now? Sure. If Bitcoin goes above the 200 and keeps going, maybe the 4-year cycle is broken. Yeah, but it's not broken yet.
I would say that for me to say that the 4-year cycle is broken is if I would have to see a new all-time high before.
Oh, for sure.
That would be, until then I don't know that I would say. I'd still be thinking in my back pocket we're going to have a big drop.
Dude, this looks exactly like 2014. It looks exactly like 2018. It looks exactly like 2022. Bitcoin does this every single time. And it's the strange thing would be if it didn't do this. If it didn't get to the 200, that would be weird. But sure enough, it got to the 200.
Yep. And
might even go a little bit over it like it did in 2014. It's totally possible.
I'd be okay with that because I bought a little at the bounce down here where these.
I hopefully will not FOMO in.
Yeah,
if I can control myself.
My big concern, right? Because I am anticipating revisiting of lower prices, much like this chart indicates, and so like I have been waiting and waiting and waiting, even though like I know I should to do it responsibly. I should be DCAing, buying a little bit here.
Oh, I'm definitely DCAing. I'm doing that.
See, and I'm not. I'm sitting on all my capital, and I'm just waiting for that drop.
I'm DCAing. I'm DCAing with like my fresh money. I'm not DCAing with my capital. Like my capital is. I'm sitting in gold. I'm sitting in stocks. I'm sitting in. I don't think I have any stable coins right now, just because stocks are going nuts, and I think gold is. We're not going to talk about gold right now.
Yeah, my my portfolios are separated. Like my stocks and crypto are not going to. They're not. It's not able to.
Well, I buy on chain. I buy. So with my Bitcoin money, I swap it over to Ethereum, and then with my Ethereum, I buy XAUT and PAXG on the Ethereum blockchain, because those are.
I'm in PAXG.
They have billions of dollars of liquidity. Both of them do. And for stocks, I do X stocks on Solana. I can swap over to Solana, and I got a little bit of.
So you're doing the tokenized
Nvidia,
stuff.
Yeah, a little bit of Nvidia.
So you're not,
Tesla,
you're still not
Google
actually.
and-
Can you take custody of the tokens?
Those, well, they're in my wallet. They're like stable coins. They're centralized. They're freezable and seizable.
Okay.
Right. I'm taking a risk by holding them.
But
But
you do- there's a
they're
token
backed
you
by
hold.
Kraken.
Yeah.
Like I could send those stock tokens to the Kraken exchange. I don't know if I can get stock for them, but I could definitely get dollars for them.
Well, there isn't tokenized stock, so you would have to have enough. For
I
the whole
think
stock.
Kraken holds the stock.
Okay. But I don't think they're giving you the stock.
No, they're giving you a token
I know. I think Kraken
that tracks
will,
the price
I
of the
think
stock
no. I think Kraken will give you your stock.
if you ask for it with the token.
Yeah, like I
They
think that
might.
if you have, like, if you buy
might.
stock on Kraken and it's on the exchange, and you're like, you know what, I want to take that stock and I want to move it
They
elsewhere.
might mail you the certificate.
I think they will.
Paper certificate.
Because I know that they're running a promotion. They've been trying to talk people into bringing them stock. They're like, bring your
Self
stock
custody
to
your stock.
us.
You can self custody stock.
No, well, they're telling no. They want you to give them custody of the stock. They're asking people
That's-
to bring them their stock for a reward.
Yes, I'm sure they're doing that because then they can tokenize it and make money on fees. And yeah, so I'm doing that when I'm not holding Bitcoin. Let's look at the Bitcoin gold chart, because when Bitcoin bottomed out at 60, I got super bullish. Like I was like, bear market's over, and this gold chart right here is why. Is it, it bottomed out 3 months ago. That was back in February when it bottomed out, and I was like, and that little horizontal it bounced off of, draw that back to like 2019, I think.
Which one? What are you talking about?
See that bottom right there in February?
Right here.
Yes, and that blue horizontal. Where does that come from? So it was resistance. It was resistance there, and then it comes from there. And then so last bear market, 2022 bear market, the bottom was the top of that 2019 half bull, right there. And this time I thought we were bouncing off of that, the top of the 2017. And it was also resistance during the bear market of 2022. You can see quite a bit. And then it was support again in the bull market of 2023. This is a really important level on the Bitcoin gold chart. It was the top in 2017.
Well, it was close to the top.
Yeah, it was in the range of the top, right? In the range of the top of 2017, it was resistance in the bear market of 2022. It was support in the bull market of 2023, and it's support in the bear market of 2025 or 2026, right there in February. But just because, so we went down for how many red candles is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we need 12 of those. Now you could go back to earlier in 2025, that because that's a head and shoulders, really obvious head and shoulders, right? And that's when I got bearish, right? Because there was a full on head and shoulders, and I was watching that back in. Sorry, again, can't point. Okay, so go to the right shoulder. So that was sold on the month August. It was July and August. So that's when I started getting scared, because I thought it would keep going up, but it didn't. And it started going down. I'm like, uh-oh, that's a lower high. And then I was like, wait a minute. That's not only is that a lower high, that's the right shoulder, head and shoulders. And then that trend line you got there, I was watching that. We broke that trend line. I'm like, dude, if this head and shoulders goes, like we're going down. And that's October. You're right there. That's how I sold the top. Because we broke that trend line, I'm like, I'm out. This has got to be. That's how I sold the top. It wasn't because of the Bitcoin USD chart. It was because of the Bitcoin gold chart.
Word.
And then at the bottom here in February, that's when I got bullish because like, oh, the bear market's over. But the thing is, you know what we're probably gonna do? We're probably gonna go check in with the 12, the EMA 12 there, and we'll probably go down more. That's probably what's gonna happen. And we look at previous bear markets to see if that happened. 2022.
This is 2022.
Yeah, we checked in with we went below the 50 and we got held down by the 50 a little bit. Go back to 2018, see what happened. And we might need to put it in weekly or daily to get better moving averages. We don't crash it. Okay, so look at that 200. There's the 200.
Well, this is the.
Oh, that's the Bitcoin. You got the Bitcoin gold chart.
Oh, it reset the whole chart.
That's all right. Just type in the upper left corner. Yeah, just type in gold there and it'll be fine. And we're on the daily. That's fine. Okay, we got some lines on there. Okay, so there's the 200 daily. Checked in to the left of that. Right, it was no the 200.
This is the 200.
Yeah, and then we checked in with it right there. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And that was about it was almost the end of the bear market there. It was probably the end of the bear market in dollar terms, but it went down a little bit more in gold. Gold must have been going up at the time. Let's look at the current bear market in the daily chart. So, look there's the 200 right there. There it is right there. We're checking in with the daily 200. Didn't even make it yet. It might still make it. Right? If that 12 might hold a support, it might go up a little more. But we're at 17 and the 200's at 18. So, might go up 5% if that's like best case scenario. Let's look at 2018 and 2014 just to get more data points. So I think that the 200 day. That's all right. You can just delete it. Just delete it.
I think that's where it was.
Well, we can always draw. If it's important, we always draw it again. I'd rather have it not exist at all than have one that is off. Yeah, it's probably used to be on that top right there.
Yeah.
You just move it to that top, yeah. Yeah, we checked in the 200 a bunch of times.
Yeah. I wish I could draw a circle. Why won't it let me? Oh, the paintbrush. Oh, why? Oh.
That's all right. We're not wrecked capital skill level yet.
No, I'm trying to do like Ben Cowan uses the drawing tool, and he can just click and circle and let go, and it goes away.
Good. He's good with it.
But how does he do it?
Well, according to him, he has an unhealthy relationship with TradingView. That's how he does it. He's on TradingView all day, every day. He doesn't have a job. He quit being a nuclear physicist a long time ago. He probably is sitting on a giant pile of Bitcoin and he just charts it all day. But yeah, it hit the 200 a bunch of times. And it went above it after it went below it. It went above it, but then it didn't go above it again until the bear market was over. It just kept bouncing off of it. Let's check 2014. So this is a common theme here. Yeah, same thing. Went above it once, a little bit, and then it was below it for the rest of the time. So even on the Bitcoin gold chart, Bitcoin gets rejected by the 200, and the bear markets last for 12 months. So this is not different. The bear market's only when did the gold bear market start? The right shoulder. And it really would have just called it the head, but we'll just call it the right shoulder for now. When was that? August?
Yeah.
So about August. So it's a little bit longer, but it's hitting the 200. It's going to get rejected. Let's go to the Bitcoin NASDAQ because one could argue, well, gold went up a bit and then gold went down a lot. Let's go to the NASDAQ. Let's do the daily.
This is the monthly, but yeah.
Yeah, let's do the daily.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to have to retype the whole thing anyways.
That's fine.
So I might as well just refresh.
Yeah.
It's on the daily.
Okay.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, no, that's perfect. You nailed it.
I didn't do anything.
So we're not even up to the 200 yet. In fact, it's been in a sideways range for a little bit, which is interesting. But that last day, that's a red candle on that last day.
It looks an awful lot like a bear flag to me.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Not even getting to the 200. So let's look at the 2018 bear market, or the 2022 first, I guess. There it is. Oh, so we checked in it with it in early 2022. What month was that? Oh, no, that's 2021. That was the summer of 2021. And then top, and then so March 2022 tagged it a couple times, and then we didn't see it again until November, and that was the or close to the USD bottom there. And then once then the bull market started. So let's go to 20. That was 2022. Let's start with 2018. Same thing. 200 was resistance until the very bottom, and then it finally, during the start of the bull market, cleared the 200.
Then we fell back.
There was a little bit of thing called COVID, but that was a higher low. So that was a mid bull market roller coaster. That would have been a wild. I wasn't on that ride. I didn't even start to look at Bitcoin again until that bottom of that spike. I could have bought it, but I bought Tesla stock instead. But both Tesla stock and Bitcoin 10x from there, so it went about the same.
This is, I think, when you
Bitcoin actually went closer to 20x, but whatever.
I think it was close enough. June of 21 that I got a call from you about Bitcoin.
Yeah, I told you to buy the dip.
And then I was like, okay, you're gonna have. Like you, I had heard about Bitcoin since like 2008, 2009. And I was always just kind of like, what? I don't have that kind. I don't have any money to invest in anything.
Bitcoin's $30,000. I can't buy a Bitcoin.
Yeah, well, yeah.
It goes to 8,000 places.
This was way back when. I'm talking about Bitcoin was like $100.
Oh yeah, that's because we were so poor.
Yeah, and I was like, I was in my 20s. I was like, I'm not gonna.
I gotta buy cigarettes.
Yeah,
I can't buy Bitcoin. I got cigarettes to buy.
Like not only do I have other things that I need to spend the money on, but it's not like I can stack up in front of me my Bitcoin and like look at it and be like, look at how I'm saving my money.
We didn't know what it was.
No, we had no idea. And I just remember being like, well, maybe someday, like when I look at buying stocks, I'll look at buying Bitcoin too. But for now, like I'm not going to even bother. And I wish that I had not been so arrogant and stupid.
Well, yeah. And I think that's a good thing for young people that you just throw in $1 and just see what it does. But anyway, let's 2018, same thing, rejected by a 200. Let's go to 2014. I think we kind of recognize the theme here.
And by the way, just in case it's not clear already, when we have BTC, that's what we're telling TradingView is that we want you to compare the token for Bitcoin, which is BTC, to the token for the United States dollar, which is this USD. And then we want you to divide that by the entire NASDAQ
index. So basically, it's how many units of NASDAQ to buy one Bitcoin. So NASDAQ index currently is at $29,000, and Bitcoin's currently at $80,000. So it's about 2.5 NASDAQs to a Bitcoin. So I don't know why the numbers aren't on the right of the chart. They're just not showing up. Oh, there they are. So yeah, go to 2026 part of it, because the numbers are too small back then. But so you kind of see like it topped out at 5.5 units of NASDAQ for a Bitcoin, and now you can get a Bitcoin for only 3 units of NASDAQ. But it's probably going lower. We're probably going to get rejected off that 200 and go lower. And when we're above the 200, now the bull market's back on. When we've followed through, you can see the bottom of the 2022 bear market there, and we finally got above the 200, and then we back tested it, a throwback, if you will, and followed through. Like we went way above the 200. That the bull market's on. Now you don't necessarily want to buy that top. Maybe buy the next time. It even fell below it again, and those are dips to buy. Those are higher lows compared to the ultimate low in November, which was the 12-month low. I can't emphasize the 12-month enough.
Look at this, though. I don't know if you noticed this. It actually put in a lower low here.
But not compared to the cycle bottom. In fact, you're right. And you can draw a triangle right there. Those three lows? Draw a support line there. And then do the lower highs. Yeah, you can do a horizontal, or
I'm trying to, it's snapping on me.
You can make it do a horizontal ray. That's good enough. And then the trend line through the lower highs from that top. And I think that's actually a bearish pattern, right? That's a bearish pattern, but and it had a fake out. It actually went below that line near the end of it, and you're like, uh-oh, like time to panic sell my Bitcoin. But it was just a fake out. It did not, as Charting Man Dan would say, it did not follow through. That was a bearish pattern, but it did not follow through.
It did not follow through.
And because it didn't follow through, it got back into the triangle, and you're like, okay, we'll see what happens. But then it broke above it, and then it did the throwback, and then, oh boy, it followed through. Right?
Rocket ship.
So, and then it's good to go. So, there's all kinds of fun TA you can do. But I think that this bear market is not over until we get through the 200. And we're not through the 200. We're not even at the 200 on the NASDAQ chart, which we'll probably get to it. We're at it on the dollar chart, and we're at it on the gold chart. And I think I'd rather hold dollars and gold than Bitcoin right now.
Yeah, I agree. That's why, I'm not even DCAing. Like I set aside some capital from each, re-up on capital, but I'm not buying anything with it.
I'm poor. My DCA for Bitcoin is like $10 a week.
Well,
but my Bitcoin stash is like way bigger than that.
What I'm saying is that I have moved out of Bitcoin from my stash, and the new money that's going in is just sitting as cash.
Yeah, I mean,
and then as soon as
you might as well, because we're charting it. Like if we weren't charting it so much, like if I was talking to a young person that had maybe $1,000 and wanted to throw it in Bitcoin, but they didn't have any income, they're in school still, but they had saved up $1,000 from their high school job or whatever, and they wanted to invest in Bitcoin, I would tell them, well, you can ask me when the bottom is and I'll tell you, but I might not be right. And you can try to find the bottom on your own, but you're probably not going to be right unless you've been learning TA, which you haven't because you've been in school learning school stuff instead. I would say, well, the bottom's probably going to be in October, so that's one thing you can do is just wait till October, whatever the price is, buy it. That's one thing. Another thing you do is DCA from here, knowing that the bottom will probably be in the ballpark of October. And it's currently what, May? So May, June, July, August, September, October. It's 6 months until October. And if you start DC, you could wait 3 months and then DCA for 6 months from there. So then you would do like, $200 a month or whatever for 6 months from whatever, to May, June, July, maybe starting in July. Or you could do 12 months of DCAing starting now. So you could do like $100 a month for 10 months or 12 months to shovel in that 1,000, just not at once, and DCA it, because the bottom will the most likely scenario is the bottom in October. Might not be perfect. I could be wrong. Bitcoin could do something different. Michael Saylor could get more billions of dollars somehow and buy more Bitcoin, whatever. Bitcoin could get hacked by quantum computers. Maybe Anthropic's Mythos will create its own quantum computer, which will then hack Bitcoin. I don't know, right? Like, stranger things have happened in life, but that won't happen. It's probably the normal thing will happen. The bottom
there is a non-zero probability, but it's not much higher than that.
Yeah, it's like 0.0000, a lot of 1%. But the most likely thing is the bottom be October. But if you're DCing now, like you're going to be DCing before the bottom, and you can DCA during the bottom and DCA a little bit after the bottom, that will get you a nice low price. Almost as good as if you had lump sum bought the bottom. Yeah. Like if you're DCing through that whole trough.
Yeah. No, and I agree if you're not charting and you're not planning a strategy around it. Because the most important thing is to have a strategy. The easiest strategy is a DCA strategy.
And my strategy was to sell the top, sit in cash the whole time, and buy the bottom. But man, I can't help myself. I keep trying to pick up pennies from the steamroller, and honestly, I am not doing it right. I'm paying fees. I'm not perfect on my entries and exits. I'm not a practiced day trader, and I'm kind of screwing it up. I have less money now than I had when I sold the top, and I sold the top. I mean, I nailed it, and I should have, and I've been botching it since then.
Yeah, That's why I don't know if you remember me mentioning this, but I was like, one of these times we should spend, some pre-show prep time, like trying to come up with like a plan, a strategy, and not just because I brought this up and you said, yeah, the plan was to sell the top and I did it. And I was like, well, right.
The plan was to buy the bottom, which I did in 2022.
But
I bought the bottom in 22. Like, I nailed the bottom. I put in a bunch of money at the bottom.
But that's not a plan, right? A plan is steps, milestones, actions that need to be taken at certain times. You know what I mean? There's like a thorough planning of what you're going to do. And without doing that, it's easy to, oh, fuck, maybe this is the time to jump back in with everything.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not.
Well, that's why I'm doing this episode for myself. Like, I'm trying to tell myself, don't FOMO in, even if it crosses the 200. Don't FOMO in, because it does that, and then it goes down. And that when it goes down, it goes hard and fast. It goes. We didn't really emphasize that on the chart, but the chart will show you.
Topping is a process. Bottoming is an event. If that makes any sense.
It can be, and I think usually it's because people are getting liquidated.
Yeah, that's often the case in crypto.
Yeah, because you can look at February. It's a waterfall. The actual bottom will look a lot like that in February. What we just had in February. You can zoom in on February. Those green arrows. Yeah, just zoom in on that so we can see the candles better. The actual bottom will look a lot like that, where it kind of waterfalls. You zoomed in a little bit too much. Let's see the top of waterfall. There we go. Get it above the volume candles a little bit. There you go. Okay, yeah. So right where your mouse is kind of that local top, and then it just it's like an upside down parabola, right? And it spikes down to the volume spike. That's really common for a volume spike on the bottom,
which is the event.
Yeah. The
that
volume
big
spike.
bottoming, like, shit, it all happens real fast. It's bam, it hits you, and then you're done with the bottoming.
Yeah, and if you want to read the volume, do the Coinbase chart. We're using the Bitstamp chart because it goes back to 2012. The Coinbase chart only goes back to like 2016 or something. But if you're just trying to find the local bottom of the bear market, that's enough. You'll be able to see like the 200 daily.
But yeah, so and that just to kind of wrap it up, and then I think we got dinner we need to go attend to.
Yeah, that's enough TA for now.
But I would say that like I wish that I had DCA'd in my first cycle. I didn't. I was an idiot, and I got all frustrated when I missed the top, and then I round tripped my bags because I didn't want to sell them for a loss, and
which is fine because you're in profit now.
Yeah. Well,
even if you hadn't sold at all, you'd still be in profit.
Yeah. But there was a lot of remorse for not getting rid of my bag, so I had some capital to buy when it was lower, and so now I've made sure that I got that part right this time. I still missed the top because I was not sure when you were like, "That's the top, bro." I was like, "I don't know. You might have another leg."
A really common thing in crypto is your first cycle's for learning, and you somehow manage to lose money in your first cycle. Everybody does. Not everybody, but the average person is going to lose money in their first crypto cycle. And the second cycle, you make some money. And the third cycle, you get rich.
Well, hopefully.
The problem is the cycles are becoming less volatile.
Which means less vitality.
And less room for profit. So
you got to be better. You have to make.
Yeah, you're not going to get as rich, and it's going to be harder. And and it used to be like 2021, dude. All the altcoins were on 100xing. Yeah, like all of them were.
I remember.
And when I say 100x, they went up 100x, 10,000%. Like all of them did. It was ridiculous. Now 5 coins went up 10,000%, and the rest of them went down the whole time. And. This next cycle will probably be like 3 coins at 10,000%. Probably like Zcash, and Zcash will probably get 51% attacked. It's not big enough to withstand 51% attack yet, which is why I'm wary of it. It's just no one's bothered to attack it yet. But Litecoin's been attacked, Monero's been attacked, and if they attack Monero, they're probably gonna attack Zcash too. And Dogecoin's the next one to get attacked, but we're done.
All right. Well, it was a great chat. I love the TA. Me personally, I think that charts are cool and fun to look at, but I'm also a big nerd. Yeah. But anyways, yeah, it was fun going over that with you. And
astrology for men is what TA is.
All right. Until next time, don't panic.